Hey guys, today we're going to be installing the Race Motivation Billet e-brake handle on a 2013 Subaru BRZ. Going to go through all the steps of the process here and everything that's involved in the kit. The kit should include the Billet e-brake handle, a billet button, a 1/16 Allen head, and 4 little set screws. I'm not going to take them out of the little baggie just because I don't want to lose them. Only tool you really should need for the install is a good pair of pliers and potentially a pry tool if your panels have never really been out before. But most of the time you can just kind of pull up and they come out. First step of doing this whole process is to pull up on your e-brake boot here. So this is where you would use the pry tool potentially. You see this one's never been off before and it just came off that easily. We'll just set that off to the side for right now. Get that all looking neat. So now you kind of can see the inner workings of the whole e-brake assembly. Now, this is the part where you're gonna mess this button up. I've tried doing this install using a rubber band around the button. I've tried doing it using a rag around the button. Pretty much every time I've done it, the button comes out looking atrocious. So be prepared to do this install. You're going to ruin that button, which is why we include a replacement button that is much nicer. So this button just unscrews just like any screw, so you're actually just going to kind of grab onto it with your good pair of pliers, and you're going to start to spin it counterclockwise. It'll have quite a few threads in there. It'll take a while. A lot of the times these threads will actually end up stripping out, which again, this is why we include a replacement button. I'll give you guys a visual kind of how this guy looks. I've gone around probably about 3 times now and I'm still going. It's not really getting any easier. At some point you might be able to, do it the rest of the way with your fingers, but I've got pretty strong hands and I can't grab onto it, so just keep working it with the pair of pliers. There we go. Doesn't look like this one's stripped out too badly. Oh yeah, it did. So I don't know if you guys can see, but the insides of that are quite stripped out. The head of it, all very marked up. So this is why we give you a new one. The next part is the only really manually intensive part. These handles are very tight onto the metal, and especially on like some of the older models, like if you're doing this on a 2008 WRX and that handle has never been off before, it's probably going to be pretty stuck. This one has never been off before, so we'll see how it goes. Really, you just kind of have to grab onto it and start manhandling it. Eventually you'll hear like it'll start to kind of break loose. Oh, this one's already going. You can squirt a little PB blaster or WD-40 down in there if you really need to. It'll help just kind of loosen it up. This one's actually going pretty easy compared to some of them, and it just slides off like that. They do put, none of it really got stuck on here, a little bit of like what it seems like almost an adhesive, I think, inside of here. It doesn't really stop you from doing it, but it certainly doesn't make it easier. And there is your emergency brake assembly. You'll see there's a spring in here. There's basically the rod that the button threads onto, and then the actual lever itself. So first step of this process of actually installing it is you're going to slide your e-brake handle over. Now, e-brake handles have this little recess here, this little depression. You're going to line that depression up with this little part here that kind of sticks out. That'll allow the handle to slip all the way on. It'll help it as well to not really spin in place. So you're going to go ahead and slide that guy on there. You can kind of turn it a little bit to try to find the position that it's at its lowest point. Once that's in and it doesn't, it seems like it's pretty solid there, that's when you're going to grab your set screws. So these are tiny. If you lose one, let us know and we can tell you how to get more of them. They're nothing super duper special. You're going to take these set screws with your 1/16 Allen head, and you're going to screw these set screws into the pre-drilled holes. So you're going to basically bottom these guys out in those holes, and that's what's going to actually prevent that handle from sliding off of there. All right. One in. These holes, there's 2 at the back, 2 at the bottom, and 2 at the top. The 2 at the top might be a little difficult to get to, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out. This one at the back here, you can't see it, but screwing this one in as well. You don't have to super over tighten these. They're just there to prevent the handle from sliding off on its own. The handles really won't slide off unless you're, intentionally trying to pull it off, but these just are a little bit of added insurance there for it. So in the front here. And the last one also in the front. You can see it. Once you guys got all those tight, you can see it's really not going anywhere anymore. You're going to screw on your billet button. It goes on very much the same way that the other one came off. You're just going to line up the threads and start screwing it in. No need for Loctite or anything like that. Just screw it down firm and it should stay just fine. I ran mine for 2.5 years with the button just screwed in loosely, and actually didn't even have the handle with set screws in it, and it stayed on just fine. So once you got that tight, you'll feel when it starts to really, right there. It doesn't have to be super tight either, just enough. Really, then your handle is installed. You're just going to reinstall your e-brake boot. Just slips right over. Line up your bottom pieces here. Hopefully you're better at putting in trim pieces than I am. Oh, I'm out at the bottom. Screwed it up. Make sure you get the bottom lined up first. And there it is. Pull that boot down so it's right at the bottom. And there you go. You have replaced your e-brake handle with a beautiful Billet Race Motivation e-brake handle.